things are picked up. But the main issue was that her feet were in alignment. You could never have seen that from where I'm looking at her. The only way to have seen that was to be standing where Shirley is and to see, whoa, those feet are in alignment. Okay, relax. Now, what two poses use alignment? What two standing poses? Warrior 2 and regular triangle. What two poses don't use alignment? They have width. Warrior 1 and twisting triangle. Okay? So Warrior 1 and twisting triangle, since they're both going to require hip squaring, you're going to use some width so that the hips can actually square. And if you ask Claudia, hey, how did that feel doing Warrior 1 alignment? It really hurt in the deep hip area. Okay? And so and that's the kind of thing that hammers people's hips. Okay? You can really almost tear your hips out of your socket doing that long term because that's not the anatomy. Okay?
Is it something that you're pointing that, at least what I'm figured out now, that, you know, I can see the hip square, but I should see where it's coming from and what's coming from.
From the feet, right? Exactly. So what was the rule number 1? We stare at the feet. We stare at the ground. We want to know what's connected to the earth because we have to build our poses from the ground up. No other way around it. Okay, excellent. Who was next? Okay, Shirley did a half moon first. And what did you learn? What did you discover about her half moon?
The block is in the wrong position.
Okay, yeah, that was basically it. Everything else was coming from there. Now, whether this leg goes that high or not isn't required. This is not wrong by any means. But her main issue that I gave her was the block was in front of her foot, and normally it would need to be diagonaling away from her small toe.
Does that stop her from stacking her hips when it's right in front?
It does all kinds of things, absolutely. But because she's not warmed up, I'm not looking to see like, wow, how maximized can we make the pose? Okay. Her issue was, again, what's touching the floor? Okay. Once again, it was a mistake of what's touching the floor. So you would never even, no other thought would come out until at least that was sorted out. Okay. You never look at a pose up here, even if it looks all funny. You start here and then build it up, like I just said a moment ago. Okay? ED? You were given good side angle pose. All right, what's going on here?
Her feet again.
What about them?
There's not enough width.
You want alignment. And side angle pose is the same as Warrior 2. So we can do alignment. Huh? Arm, okay, but why? What is it? Why does it look like it looks?
Well, her hips are bad. Her hips.
No, her hips.
Oh, you think it's her hips? Okay. How can it be her hips?
No, it's her chest.
How can it be her chest?
If she would put this a little bit.
Okay, so nobody wants to listen to anything I say.
No, the arm,
right?
the arm,
It's like I'm totally not talking. You know I wasn't.
no, the arm and the leg were supposed to be.
Yeah, we can look all we want up here and totally miss everything because we're not looking at her feet,
45
which are too close together.
Oh.
100% too close together. And that is causing everything else to happen. Because her feet are too close together, her hip is sticking out. Because her feet are too close together, it looks like her arm's not in alignment. Now when she sinks deeper, now she's flat. Now she's got integrity. Everything happened because her feet were too close together. Okay, relax. I honestly cannot emphasize enough that inside angle pose, almost every single person in the room makes that mistake. Almost everybody. So when you go into side angle pose, you're teaching it, look for that. Look for, hey, you know, your feet are a little too close together. It's sticking, your hip is sticking out. It's making you look like a staircase because the feet are too close together. So stop looking up. Look down. Make sure that we have down organized first, and then everything else is going to naturally unfold from there. Okay, and naturally build up from
What
there.
if like people are trying to not work that hard into it and just have a smaller stance just because they're trying to get to like spare their legs or something?
You know, it's funny because a lot of people think that when they go with wider legs that it's harder. but then when you give them the wider legs and actually give them the feeling of flattening out that hip point, they realize that it wasn't harder at all. It's actually more intelligent. It actually feels better. And they're actually struggling more because their feet were too close together, because the misalignment was creating an uncomfortable sensation. And sometimes, assuming there's no injury, assuming there's no serious limitation that is stopping it, giving them those extra few inches of width and allowing them to sink into those extra few inches is going to allow them to actually feel more of a well-being. And again, it's counterintuitive because you think, oh, I'm going to go wider and sink deeper, it's going to have to be harder, but really not. It actually feels much better. So, unless there's a real structural reason not to, always get the feet right. Yeah? Okay. Good. Excellent. Who was next? Lillian. She was doing Warrior 2 for her first round, I think, right? Or was that
Yeah.
Warrior 2?
No.
Right? Okay, she was doing Warrior 2. So, good. That foot was a little different. More that way. Okay? Well, I don't know if this foot was crooked or not, but if it was straight, and then her knee was caved in. Again, common mistakes that are going to be seen every day for the rest of your life. Knee over small toe. Now, you see how I just did it nice and easy? I didn't force it, I just helped her coach it that way. This foot was turned out and it wants to be turned in. Okay? So her two mistakes, I mean, there might have been, as I said, there always might be other things that are related here. Now let's talk about the rest of Warrior 2. A lot of other mistake people make is they lean too forward. And you want to be on a plumb line. Okay? A straight plumb line so that you're not leaning into the front leg, but you're feeling even more. One way I adjust this is I'll take the person's hand and I'll hold their hip point and I'll pull them back. Come with me back. Like that. Okay? So maybe they were leaning forward and I'll help them come back this way. Okay? Obviously, not being warmed up, I'm done with her. Her main things were knee was caved in and foot was turned the wrong direction. Okay? Good. Excellent. Next. Okay. What were you doing? Oh yeah, siding. Okay. What did you learn here? What was wrong? That's okay. Yeah, she's doing a mudra with her hand.
Is that okay?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
For me, it was the foot is not bicep.
No, it's okay. This is a Warrior 2 type of a stance.
She's not looking at her hand.
This was your one trick question.
Yeah,
This was correct. I made this one correct. Yeah, I don't know if she's recreating it right now the way I gave it to her, but this, when I put her in the pose, I basically, in my attention, made it mistake free. Okay, so you might have. What did you detect, really? What did you find?
I thought like her heart and her shoulders were here, and like she was turning inward instead of like
opening up.
Down.
Okay, so that might be the case. That could have happened. It needs me to do a little bit more opening up. Would have been fine. That probably was correct. Okay, for the most part, my intention on her was to make it trick question and see if you can figure out that this actually looks okay and there's not a lot.